Y'all know what I just discovered? Y'all remember when I first started? Y'all would tell me not to ramble. You told me you're rambling, or you would tell me, you were saying it from a loving space. I've never gotten hate. I've always had support. Whether it was delivered in a harsh way or not, I've always gotten support, because if you take time to deliver a message to someone that is beneficial to them, you're showing love, whether you know you are or not. So you're really not a hater. You're actually a congratulator. You love me so much that you envy me. Love is not envious. Love is admiration. Hold on. But because admiration was never demonstrated for you as a child, now that you go into adulthood and you feel these emotions, and when you were a child and you were told to feel these emotions, you were like, well, this is envy. So now as an adult, you feel these emotions, and no one ever really explained to you that love does not envy. And when you're sharing knowledge with someone, whether it's like this or if it's like this or however any in between, your choice to share knowledge with someone is a form of looking out for someone. Even if I'm getting you put together, actually, you gonna share knowledge with someone you hate? Now you have to realize you're an oxymoron. You hate me, but you hate me so much you gonna tell me the truth. Get me put together. Bone up my knowledge with what you didn't know. You gotta see how you're playing yourself. And that which you hate is what you actually desire. So instead of trying to tear it down, maybe build a relationship with it so you guys can have a mutually beneficial relationship, because clearly you see something in them, and if you see something in them, chances are if you were able to align in a positive space, they would see something in you, and now you both can say, okay, here's the piece that you've been missing. You're like, yo, and here's the piece that you've been missing, and then you grow each other into your highest potential of each other, and then you separate, because nothing's forever unless it is. Don't put a forever stamp on something that was never promised to be forever. You're setting yourself up. So you allow that beautiful relationship to remain what it was. Don't get bitter, and don't start speaking negatively of, or find a reason to separate. Just know it's time to separate. And you both feel it. Just like you were both drawn to each other, you will both separate at the same time. Trust me, I've done it and I've clocked it. It's real. Anyway, so people want to tell me to stay on task, and what I realized tonight was that was just mental training for me to be able to use storytelling, because we've taken storytelling for granted. There are some gifted storytellers, but we've taken storytelling largely for granted. And I'm going to start watching movies and taking the lessons out of these stories. So I'm going to become a movie reviewer. Are you guys ready? That's my new announcement. That's my next. I'm going to become a movie reviewer, TV show reviewer, from a perspective of this is what this story is teaching us. Because if we stop looking for entertainment and we actually see what's being taught here, now we can be entertained while we're learning. You understand? So I'm going to teach us how to do that, and look for that. But my getting off task was me training myself to be able to loop back. Because you see how now I can always come back to why I started the video. And those of you who's been rocking with me, when I'd be like, hold on, and I'd stop the video and I have to go rewatch the video to see where I left off so I could pick back up. Or some of you got to witness it on live. You can always rewatch my lives on LoneeAppleton Live. But those who actually got to witness it live, you would see how each topic led to us coming back to the original topic. I was on a phone call with a couple the other day, and we were talking about caste systems, and who knows how we started talking about caste systems. I know the husband said he didn't realize that caste systems, is I don't know the classes, but the caste systems still existed in 2024. And we were just talking about the unspoken caste systems in America. And, it was brought into the conversation under one particular context, but it was able to continue to bounce throughout the conversation, because, interesting enough, If we're all three on this call, all three of us are taking something from this, because the moment we stop taking something from it, we get distracted and we allow ourselves to move on. So we have to be able to read when somebody is plugged in and when they unplug. And my children taught me that, because my children will listen to me for spurts at a time, and then they'll go on about their business and they'll pretty much talking to a brick wall at that point. So you have to be able to read the body language, and don't get offended by the body language, and don't insist that someone sits to continue to listen and pretend to listen, because they're not listening. Once you see the body language or the energetic read where you know someone disconnects, stop. You're wasting your time, and you actually allow yourself to get frustrated because you're speaking into a vessel that is no longer receptive to what you're saying. Because when you are speaking to a vessel that is receptive to what you're saying, you are actually accessing their soul. And everybody just doesn't walk around with their soul exposed. You have to finesse, and I'm going to use that language. I don't have anything else right now. You have to finesse your way into a position to be able to touch somebody's soul. And the ability to do so, God is telling me this is telepathy. The ability to reach into someone's soul at the speed that you're able to reach into someone's soul. Now, this is a dangerous person, and this is a blessed person. This person is me. I choose to use my superpowers to help other people unlock themselves into their superpowers. But someone who has my superpower, I don't know if there's somebody else out there, but they can definitely choose to access souls and turn souls against themselves. You understand divinity is within you? To hate God is to hate yourself. Some higher power, you don't have to believe in the God that I believe in, but you have to believe that something created you. Whatever that is, I don't care if it was a big bang and then boom, you're like, okay, I'm here. I don't care how you believe that you got here. Something caused you to be here. And that which caused you to be here, you are saying F you every time you say F God, whatever that is for you. So when people try to pressure me to stay on task, I've always said F you. Because even though I was saying F you, I still was finding a reason to defend the reason why I would always go the Lonee roller coaster. And I came up with a lot of good reasons as I dug deeper in this true understanding that God was teaching me how to be a teacher of man. To be able to come on this internet and go off into what some of you identify as tangents, but go off into another direction, and then somehow loop back to our original point. Because if we do allow someone who thinks and speaks like me, kind of like this Nickelodeon thing where I go off on a tangent, then I come back to the center, go off on a tangent, then I come back to the center. Someone who understands someone who communicates like that, you understand that there's no coincidence that I have this shirt on right now. I actually remember the thought process that went into putting this shirt on because I didn't want to wear it. But I have this shirt on at the time that is a beautiful illustration of how I speak. I go off on tangents and then I come back to the center. Initially, I would go off on a tangent, then I lose my train of thought, and then I would just jump onto another thought, and it's just like, hold up, sister, I was riding the wave of your previous thought. Now, if you realize that I go off on a tangent, understand that that thing is going to be left wherever it gets left off, because I'm always going to come back to my original point. So that's why when you do ride the Lonee roller coaster, it's important to know where I started off, but you figure out where I started off because I always come back to it. Which the reason why I started recording this video was to say those people who always wanted me to stay on task were the people who had to be broken from the system of things just have to be one way. Do you see all the information you cut yourself off to if you do not allow things to flow as God designed them to flow in true, authentic relationship and friendship? Then you wonder why you are cutting yourself off from your highest potential. Do you understand? It's no coincidence that I put this shirt on today to deliver this message. And I am delivering a message on behalf of the Most High. Whoever your Most High is, that's who I'm delivering messages on behalf of. And if you would like to put something in my tip jar, purchase my books, purchase my speaking, call me out. I do podcasts. I'm LoneeAppleton. I am a healthy family advocate, a coach, an author, and I'm out here helping people reach their highest potential through deconstruction and reconstruction. We only got one life to live. We have no more time left to waste, but it's always going to be a choice. You've always known, and you still always chose. That's on you.